Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about roles in Hell Let Loose. This video was suggested by Carl E. He's one of our community members, and he would like me to go over all the roles in the game in a detailed format, what weapons they have, some tips and tricks with the roles. I'm mostly going to go over how they can best be used and things like that. The scale I'll be using in this video is going to be beginner, intermediate, advanced, and highly advanced. I'm going to go through this scale with each one, and the scale is really based around if you're a brand new player or you're a seasoned veteran player, kind of what these roles and how, not necessarily difficult they'll be, but how much is entailed in each role and how much extra you'll have to do and things like that. So if you're a brand new scrub player, never touched the game, things like commander and officer, maybe not the best to choose, but you could probably get away with something like Rifleman or Assault. So we're going to go ahead and go into that as well. First up, we're going to go ahead and check out the commander. The commander is extremely important. The commander can make or break a battle, hands down. They call in bombing strikes, strafing runs, they designate supplies. They're the ones that direct the squads, spawn in the armor. Without them, none of this stuff can happen. So if you're a brand new player, please don't jump into the commander role, but watch what the commander role does. So that you can learn, and eventually one day when you're more experienced and you understand the game better, you can join that commander role. Now the commander is going to be equipped with an M1A1 Thompson submachine gun in .45 caliber, a 1911 in .45 caliber for the Americans. Now for the Germans, they're going to have the MP40 and the Luger. They're both going to be in 9mm. Every commander will have a grenade, a bandage, the watch for building, and binoculars for ranging, observing, being able to find things that, people without optics can't. So that's kind of your commander. Let's move on to something more often played, but is still somewhat difficult. The officer. The officer is kind of your NCO. It's weird that it's an officer, but I see it as more as an NCO. It is your backbone, the backbone of your forces. It is the guy on the ground making sure the orders get passed down and completed, taking objectives, pushing the team forward. This is the person that you should play if you believe you are an advanced player. You can handle talking on both the command channel and squad channels, having both going at the same time, building, handling supplies, having your squad members build nodes for resources, directing fire, protecting vehicles, all that type of stuff. If you believe you can do that, the officer role is for you. If you can't, maybe pick a different role. Now, loadout wise, the officer actually gets the most choices here. They get a submachine gun, they get a semi-automatic rifle, so in the Germans' case, it's going to be the Gruer 43. On the Allies' side, it's an M1 carbine. And then they also get the bog standard infantry rifle. On the Allies' side is the Garand, and on the Axis side is the Kar 98. They will get a pistol, in this case it's a P38, or again a 1911 for the Americans. They get a grenade, two grenades, 2 smoke grenades, bandages, the watch for building outposts and garrisons, and again binoculars that are incredibly important for calling targets. Infantry squad leaders or officers use these to call shots for tanks, use these to range in for artillery at distance. These are a weapon too, and so is smokes. When assaulting a position, combine with your assault class, pop smokes, throw them, and get your guys through an open field alive versus them being open targets. So use those smokes. Next up, we're going to go with the Rifleman. The Rifleman is your bog standard beginner class. I just bought the game. What do I play? This is what you play. Rifleman. Jump in, learn the game here. On the American side, they are equipped with an M1 Garand chambered in 30-06, and on the Axis side, they are equipped with a Kar 98 chambered in I think it's 792 by 57. I may be wrong on that, but I believe that's it. They are also equipped with fragmentation grenades, an ammo box that is very important to throw down when you guys are taking heavy fire. If you're taking fire and you're returning fire and you're pinned down, throw down that ammo box. One, you're going to get points for people pulling ammo out of it, so your class is going to level up faster. And two, it helps the team be able to chuck more grenades at the enemy. Throw that ammo box down, Rifleman, and you also get some bandages to heal yourself. Next class, Assault. So the Assault is interesting here. On the German side, they get two weapons, the Gruer 43 and the MP40. However, on the American side, they only get the Thompson. The Thompson, the M1A1 Thompson, is chambered in 45 cal, and the Americans, I don't know why they don't get another weapon. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. We'll see. But the Assault class, I struggle with this because it could either be considered a beginner role or an intermediate role, because it is a very run in and blast the enemy type of class. However, breaching rooms, taking buildings, and making sure to remember to throw your smoke might make it more of an intermediate class. So I'm not sure where to place it, but you know, it's about there. It could probably be played by a beginning person without much difficulty. Next, the Automatic Rifleman. So this class does also get a submachine gun to it, but for the most part, you're going to be wanting to use that automatic rifle. So you're either going to be using the American M1918 Bar Browning automatic rifle chambered in 30-06, or you're going to be using the Sturmgewehr 44 chambered in 7.9 by 33, and there is also an 8mm Mauser version. I don't know which version is in the game, but you know, it doesn't really matter either way. So they will also get fragmentation grenades and bandages. This class is really designed around fire superiority, and not just fire superiority, but mobile fire superiority. It is the class in the game that can lay down suppression fire pretty consistently, but at the same time be able to move as fast as a regular infantryman. The machine gunner achieves ultimate fire superiority. However, they're more static. They're not exactly static, but you know, with placing the bipod and making sure you have a good position, they're less mobile. This class, when used properly, can very heavily pin down the enemy and allow, say, your assault class to get in close or in those flanking positions and wipe them out. So make sure to use it properly. This class is not a one-man army. They will still get blown out of the water. Make sure to use them right. Next, the medic class. The medic class is another interesting class. This class, it's used properly a lot, but not all the time. First, we're gonna go. I would consider this an advanced class. First off, this class requires you to not be focused on killing the enemy. If you're a medic and you're getting more kills than everyone else, you're wrong. You're wrong. Your job is to be healing and reviving teammates at all times. That is your pure and only goal. They do get a rifle, in this case a Kar 98 for the Germans and an M1 Garand for the Americans. Earlier in the game's development, they only had a pistol. They also do get a pistol. They get they get smoke grenades, and they get morphine and bandages. The medics get 20 bandages. Everyone else gets 2. I see many medics revive players and then run away. Medics, please bandage the players that you just revived. Not only does it keep them from having to use all their bandages right away, but you get more points. Leveling up medic takes forever. So make sure to use those bandages because it's just more points for you. If the only reason you're using bandages on friendlies after you heal them is to get points, that's fine. At least you're healing them. Next, support. Support is important. Support is the class that can throw down supplies for the officers. Support is the class that makes placing garrisons possible, makes placing anti-tank guns possible. If the commander can't drop supplies or doesn't want to drop supplies to let the enemy know, hey, they're building something here, your support class is the one you go to. These guys are equipped with a standard rifle, so they're not going to be the most effective in combat, but that's not necessarily what their primary goal is. Their primary goal is to place down supplies for the officer and ultimately the commander, and get those items that are needed on the battlefield, like garrisons and repair and rearm stations and AT guns, and eventually mortars probably, and machine gun nests, and all these other things that they're going to be adding to the game. Also, they have a radio on their back, so I'm assuming that's going to come into play at some point. But these guys are very important. Stick near your squad leaders and place down supplies when needed. Once you're out of supplies and you can't do any much, go be a rifleman. But until you get those supplies down where they're needed, stick near your squad leader. Now, for those who don't know, supplies cannot be used, as far as I know, to redeploy your ammo when you run up to them. At least they weren't as of the latest patch, I think. So keep that in mind. The riflemen have those little ammo boxes. Use those. Next, machine gunner. The king of suppression fire. The machine gunner... Oh, right. Support, I would consider an intermediate role. Machine gunner, this is also an intermediate class. The machine gunner, it's almost an advanced class. And I say this because the gun is unwieldy. It's heavy. It moves around slow. You can't aim down sights. And the machine gunner's role is very critical. If they can find a solid place like a hedgerow or a building with a good window overlook, and their team or squad properly supports them on the flanks to where nobody can get around or get in that building, the machine gunner can mow down platoons. They can decimate entire sections and lock that sector down. If squad leaders or platoon leaders were able to place their machine gunners with interlocking sectors of fire and then properly support with infantry and keep those infantry from just running off and trying to one-man army, they can lock down a line. It's not a hard thing to do. These machine gunners need to be properly supported. They are death machines if properly defended. They can't do it by themselves. The machine gunners are going to be equipped with the American M19 30 caliber machine gun, or in the Germans' case, the German MG42 machine gun chambered in 7.92 by 57 millimeter. These are good classes. This can be a very fun class. Just make sure to use it properly and suppress the enemy. Sometimes it is better to just fire at the enemy to make it so they can't fire back and the rest of your team can get the kill than it is for you to get the kill. Just keep that in mind. This game is about teamwork, not necessarily your kill-death ratio. Next class, anti-tank. So anti-tank. This class is an intermediate role. I would say it potentially could be a beginner role, maybe, but knowing where to hit the tank, I think puts it more into an intermediate role. The infantry in this class are going to be equipped with standard issue rifles, M1 Garans, and Kar 98s, but they will also either get the bazooka or the German Panzerschreck. Panzerschreck, I believe, does a little more damage. Now, this class does not have very much ammo. They need somebody sticking by them with ammo because they cannot reliably kill tanks usually with the ammo they can carry on them. So usually pair a rifleman with these guys to throw down an ammo box. So officers, have a rifleman hang out with them. Now, another thing is support can throw down supplies and anti-tank can build anti-tank guns. Anti-tank guns are incredibly useful. If you don't want to get up close to a Panther, or you don't want to get up close to a Sherman Jumbo, place an anti-tank gun on a hill in a bush and nail that thing from twice, if not 3 times the distance you could otherwise, and it may not even find you before you kill it. Use those placeables. They're very important. Just make sure you know where you're placing them so they have good fields of fire. The anti-tank gunner also comes with grenades and, of course, bandages. They also have the wrench to build anti-tank guns. So, last class we're going to talk about here, the engineer. The engineer is a fun class. I would consider this an advanced class. The reason is, not only does the engineer need to be able to repair tanks, build items such as the repair and rearm station, but they also need to know how and where to properly lay vehicle and anti-personnel minefields. They need to be able to work with their squad leaders and work with other tanks on the fly to make sure all of this stuff is placed where it needs to go, the repairs are given out, and all of that type of stuff. On the American side, they are issued an M1 carbine, and on the German side, they are issued a Kar 98. So kind of interesting that the Allies get the M1 carbine, but the Axis don't get the Gruer 43. Another weird thing here. Now, the rearm and repair stations are important. I don't see these go down that much, but they are, if you can throw that back maybe 100, 200 meters behind your line to where it's not going to get taken out really easily, right? Your tanks can roll back there, fill up on their HE and AP, heal up, and come back to the fight without having to just get blown up or drive all the way back to the starting position. These are important. Make sure to place these. Another thing engineers can place is nodes. Every commander is going to be screaming every game, have your engineers build nodes. Have your engineers build nodes. It happens every game. Make sure to build those nodes, not at the front lines, but further back. These are how you get the points to be able to call in a Tiger tank, to be able to call in a bombing run. Engineers are very important. They're a very important class. If you're playing engineer, play it to place down mines, repair and rearm tanks, and build nodes. If you're not looking to do that, you're just looking to get kills, and the Rifleman is always available. But if you really want assault, just go create a new class, because it's more important that there is an engineer that is doing their job than you just being in a class by yourself. Other than that, that's the video. These are the main roles here. They're great. I can't really think of any other roles that I would really want. There's some weapons that I would like to see come in, like for example the automatic rifleman. I truly hope on the Axis side we get the FG42 for the Fallschirmjäger. That would be amazing. As other nations are added, we'll see more stuff. So there's a lot of cool things they can do. Classes like the engineer are going to grow as static emplacements are buildable and things like that. But let me know what weapons and class stuff you want to see, what things you want to see for your class, your favorite class, and what your favorite class is in this game. Other than that, I stream on Twitch, usually Hell Let Loose Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8:30 Central. Sometimes I stream on Mondays as well. I have a Discord for those who are interested and want to build a community around this game and around hanging out and playing games and just having fun and working together as a team and a cohesive unit. The links will be in the description below. Give me a subscribe if you really like the channel and want to keep seeing more Hell Let Loose videos, as well as other games that are kind of similar. And other than that, have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.